Start this video, I would just like to come on here and remind you guys that here at Melanin Eclectic, Black lives will always matter. And this is Black everything. Black people, Black culture, Black lives, Black careers, Black existence. We stand by my people, and if that bothers you, this might not be the channel for you. But let's get on with the video. Hi guys, I'd like to welcome you guys all back to my channel, and for once, I'm doing a read recap where I actually read some books. Technically, I listened to all of them, but that still counts. Let's see. According to my list, I listened to, to the people that don't count audiobooks as actually reading, I don't understand how you function as a human for being such a hater. But I personally count audiobooks as reading just because my business has been doing so well. But it also means that I've been devoting a lot of the time that I normally have for free time to do that. And I just realized that my Kindle has an audio, or it has a text to voice function, and I gotta figure out how to use that because I have some books on my Kindle that I want to finish. I just don't have enough time. Like, I start to read them at night and then I wake up the next morning and I'm like, so yes, oh, Bismuth, your leaves are doing great, honey. Sorry, my plant's right there. Here. Say what up, Bismuth. You know, we're gonna record right here for you, girl. No, we're not. We're gonna put you back. Hold on. So, I did a book haul, I don't know, 2 months ago, where I got some books from the library and then some other books. So I did not get to The Year of the Witching, but I am going to try to check that book back out this month. This month I will not, again, we'll talk about that in a second. So I read the graphic novel, The Black Mage. It was interesting. There we go. I don't know how to put this. Every time I get a story where I think it's about to be a black wizard or a black mage or a black warlock or a black witch, because I love the idea of having magic. But why are all of our stories attached to trauma? For example, Black Girl Unlimited is advertised as a black girl wizard. And if you guys remember from the Black Prose live show that we did after we read this book, like, it is not the magic you think. It is a metaphor, and it's a metaphor based on trauma and hurt and pain of black women. And I'm like, and though the book was good, I was still super disappointed because I've still yet to get black magic. Now, I have some books lined up that I'm going to read that might give me the black girl magic that I'm looking for. And the black boy joy that I thought I was going to get from the black mage, fail. Somehow it turned into like a magical school ran by the KKK. And I was reading it and I was like, how did we get here? Why are we here? Why are we here? And I was just like, yo, like, it's got the ghost of Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass. And I'm like, we deserve graphic novels and stuff that's not based on slavery and racism. Like, yeah, we deal with that all the time. But don't y'all think we tired? I don't want to read it in books too. Like, I want a black girl finding out she's a wizard, going to a magical school, and being treated differently because she started late or something. You know, like, I wish that I was a writer. Like, I really wish that God had granted me that ability, because I want magical fantasy stories of black people without it always having racism attached. It's like other stories can be told from other groups of people can be told, and it's not dipped in their trauma. But for some reason, I'm struggling trying to find books where I'm not having to be reminded again that, like, yes, the color of my skin makes people hate me for no reason. I'm so tired. Like, and I don't want to ask Twitter because, you know, right now it's woke to like black things, and that aggravates me too. So I've been trying to just go through the TBR that I already have, and like I'm reading a lot more book bloggers because they do more reviews than I find on YouTube for black books. So I'm trying to do that, but I don't remember the stars that I gave Black Men. Actually, no. Another thing I've been doing is I've been doing Goodreads like at the end of the month and just putting in all the books that I read for the month and grading them. And I think I'm going to give it a 2. Because it was like, wow. I mean, I too would love to punch a racist in the face. Like just straight up punch him and knock him the heck out. But I will also like to and dip them away too. So I don't know. It just, yeah. Next book. So I finished Rage of Dragons. I've noticed that there is like some, I haven't watched any Rage of Dragon reviews. And the reason was like, I wanted to make sure that I recorded my video before I watched them. But I've noticed that people have been mad at other people for reviewing this book and not giving it like stellar reviews. And I can just be honest with y'all because, you know, I don't really care about people trying to roast me. I enjoyed Rage of Dragons. I have already put in my stuff to where I could buy the next book because I need to know what happens. However, when I finally, after reading the book and right after, initially I was hyped. I was like, ooh, okay. Like I got my black people with the magic and everything. And then I stopped and started thinking and I realized I didn't understand some of the stuff that needed to progress the story. And I was like, okay, cool. This could just be like the first book thing where it spent a lot of time explaining some things but not others. And it's going to explain it more in the next book. Cool. Got it. Not a problem. Tao started off as bae for me, but as the story progressed, I was like, can you not be so stupid? I was trying to figure out how he kept getting into trouble and like he wasn't getting properly disciplined. I was like, how we're at war. So essentially this is like a military situation. Like you out here wilding like you run things. You should have been knocked off your block a couple of times. I wasn't a fan of how they treated Siri. I felt like she was just a storyteller in the sense where a character is created just to explain things in the story rather than letting the story tell it itself. Not a big fan of those kind of characters, and I felt like her character was wasted because of that, because she was a mage, and I wanted to see what she could do, and to be presented with this idea that it was the women of their country to be so strong and so magical. It was still written in a perspective that made it seem like only the men were important. And I don't know if the author intended on doing that or not, but for a matriarchy style society where the women are supposed to be the powerful ones, where the women are the exalted ones, it just felt very male dominated. And I was just kind of like, for women to be so powerful, they were made so weak. And they were just pawns, essentially, in their own story. I don't know how to explain it. I know the story was told from the standpoint of Tao. And me being the person that I am, I love fantasy books where it's a lot of gore. And it's like a lot of killing and a lot of violence and a lot of war. That's my favorite style of book. I love the imagery that I can get in my head of like a war scene or like him like just slashing down bodies and like splitting throats. That's my kind of thing. And I feel like in this book, Evan Winters really excelled with the military stuff. I know some people felt like it was too much, but for me, again, if it's a country that was built on an invasion because they invaded another people's land, and I know that this is like a setting in Africa, so my vision is like they invaded land that didn't belong to them. Or rather, this is a fantasy world, so I can't really compare it to anything like that. because I know people didn't like the use of the word savages. And in this particular sense, because it was a colonization, I understand why the word savage was used, because colonizers love to call people savages when they come and take stuff that don't belong to them. So I would like to know more about what brought them to the place that they are now. And I would like to know more about the native people. So I'm hoping in the second book that we get more of that. I don't know much about Evan Winters as far as a writer, but I do want to read more. If he has more, I want to read more because I want to get a sense of his writing before I can really form an opinion. But as far as do I think you should read it if you're a fantasy lover who likes the kind of books that I like to read, yes, I do think that you should read it and I think you would enjoy it. I know some people don't, but that's cool. I'm going to still say it anyway. The next book that I read was Behold the Dreamers, and I can never say the author's name correctly, so I'm not, you just see a picture. This was the book that was picked for Oshale's quarter in the Black Prose Club book pick. I will leave a link to that video down below as well for you guys to check out. We all had very interesting thoughts about it. I actually do think it was a really good book. It is adult fiction if you're wondering. And the story is set with the premise of this Cameroonian man comes to New York and gets a job as a driver for a wealthy white family. And with that money, he's able to bring his wife and son over to America so that they can live a better life, while he's also trying to get his green card to stay in America as well. His wife comes on a student visa, and then I think Leome was like 6. So that's the premise. And it basically focused on the 2008 financial crisis, but it was told from the standpoint of an immigrant trying to achieve the American dream that some people are suckered into believing exists. So I really liked it. I thought that it gave a different perspective on the financial crisis. I did feel like some of the focus was focused too heavily on the Edwards, which is the family that Jinde drove for. I do feel like there was way too much emphasis on them. And I wanted more of the actual centralized family. But I actually really liked the book. I gave it like a 4, I think. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Yeah, so I do think you should check that one out. So technically, that was 3 books. So we're going to go ahead and add. I decided while I've been working that I wanted to just listen to books that brought me joy. And that used to be Harry Potter. But I can't support that anymore. So I was like, well, okay, I'm going to do a reread of something else right now. Just until I figure out what to do. And so I decided to reread the Lunar Chronicles and re-listen to the Lunar Chronicles. And what's funny is like I got cackles out of things. So I read Cinder, Scarlet, Cress, Fairest, Winter, and then Stars Between. So that's 6 books. So I read 9 books this month. Like what? 9 books. Your girl read 9 books. Okay, so I know a lot of people, like, for example, Noria. I've been trying to get Noria to read the Lunar Chronicles. And I keep reminding her, understanding, like, this is a YA book. And this is a real true blue YA book. So there are certain things that you're going to be like, eh. Also, they're retellings of stories we've heard a million times. So you're also going to be like, Winter is still my favorite book of the series because of just, I feel like we finally got to a place. But I did have to go through some moments where I was just like, doesn't stop me from loving the series at all. I know there are a lot of people that don't like that series. That's fine. Do you. But it was nice to reread it. I hadn't reread it in like 2 or 3 years. So it was nice. I was like, oh, I still like this series. And I heard that they're animating Cinder. Like, it's about to be an animated movie. If they could just take all of my little magical books and turn them into animated movies, like everything in YA that has like magic or whatever, don't give me no live actions. Just go ahead and animate them so I can get them exactly like the book. Please, thank you, management. So, in terms of what I'm going to read for October, I want to focus on some more spooky books like the ones on my shelf. So that'll be like The Bone House. I don't feel like getting up to get the books, so we'll just put pictures. The Bone House. And then I gotta read my girl India's book. She graciously sent me the book last year, and like I just did not get to it, but I'm gonna read The Forgotten Girl. So I'm very excited about that. And then I think I've got some other spooky books on my shelf. Again, I will not be participating in any readathons this month, but to let you guys know, the Locked Booktition has a Black Halloween. It's a Black Halloween readathon that goes from October 1st through October 31st. I'll leave a link down to that below. And then Black Prose is doing the Naked Readathon, which is an ode to Black romance. If you guys haven't seen the announcement video to that, I'll leave the link down there, because I know somebody's gonna say, why are y'all doing that in October? It's because people act like they scared to see Black romance. So yeah, I'm just gonna, I like the idea of not setting a TBR for myself last month. And then I'm doing the same thing this month, where I'm just gonna read like whatever I want, and then I don't feel an obligation to have to report back to you guys or anything. And then once I have books, like I read 9 books this month. That's the most in one month that I've read all year long. Like normally 8 or 9 is my like sweet point, and this is the first time all year that I've read that many. So I guess my question to you is, are you participating in any readathons this month? I would love to know them, because I'm starting to try to keep track of all the readathons that I know about. As usual, thank you guys so much for watching my channel, and until the next time, guys, bye.